So let's take a look at globalisation and its impact on family life. So to define globalisation, just at the very beginning here, this is the increase of interconnectedness of people around the world. So the world becomes more connected with each other. And the three ways it does this is really from travel and transport becoming easier and cheaper. So that's led to more LATs, it's led to more geographical mobility and changes in the way relationships work. Trade has become transnational. So again, national boundaries become less important. We are a global connected society. And again, work practices, commodities, and even sort of cultures are easily exchanged. And lastly, technological advances. So this is connected with extended families moving around the world, becoming and remaining connected with each other. So part of the LAT movement. We also see IVF and other reproductive technological advances all changing the way the family works. Just as a few other examples, we've got economic factors, which I thought were interesting. So the move from economic to post-industrial society. So again, we've got a greater exchange of electronic and communication and online resources. The idea that you will download and stream a film as opposed to going out and buying a DVD. Transnational corporations, again, work globally. They will produce materials in cheaper countries and sell them in more expensive. We've got global commodity chains. We've got more production around the world, and technology in terms of travel, communications I mentioned, all changing the way we interact with one another. We've also got political change, so global organisations like Oxfam and Greenpeace, which work around the world. These are all part of the globalisation changes and effectively make the world feel like a smaller place. Now, how does this affect family life? So globalisation and its increased interconnectedness of countries is having a big impact on the way the family works globally. And these are just some ideas that I've pulled together. So when it comes to childhood, first of all, we talk a lot about the Western notion of childhood, and that's becoming global. We're also becoming aware of global issues like exploitation of children, trafficking, abuse, and exposure to adult realities. We also have the commercialization of childhood, toxic childhood, pest power, and global problems surrounding childhood, all becoming more globally sort of prevalent. In terms of social policy, really the impact of globalization on migration policies, I think the most biggest example we can think about recently is Brexit. Brexit is a massive policy, and it does relate to globalization, migration, and people's attitudes towards it. But again, a lot of social policies relating to migration and the movements of populations. This does overlap a little bit with demography. So demography looks at immigration, migration, net migration, and really also covers birth rate, death rate, fertility rates. One of the things we do need to be aware of is obviously looking at birth rate. Migration and movement of people into the UK has led to a little increase in the birth rate. We also have a lot of emigration with people leaving the UK, particularly following the Brexit results. And again, all this is changing the family. It also brings a lot of family diversity, dual heritage families, and also a variety of family types and structures. Theory has a little bit to say. I think probably postmodernism is the most prominent theory we can include, particularly because they talk about contemporary society. We are in a postmodern society, and globalization is a big feature of that. What they would also talk about is, I guess, the diversity that comes from increased globalization. Changing structures, we've kind of touched on it already, but immigration has led to more multicultural diversity, LATs, dual heritage. We've got greater connections. We see extended families. We see maybe more matrifocal families than modified extended. These would all be changing structures. One of the things that is kind of slightly side noted, but it talks about more financial crisis, more credit crunches, more global recessions. And during a global recession, or during any kind of recession, divorce rates and instability of the family tend to increase because of financial pressure. So it kind of didn't really fit anywhere neatly, but I thought I'd put it in with changing structures. And last but not least, we have DDOL. So division labour. So immigration has changed family practices, particularly with families being spread around the world or moving to different parts of the country. So with the LATs, we see partially to do with demography changes, but the role of grandparents being more significant. Maybe we don't live as far away from grandparents, so they're able to take a greater role in the family. We see more neo-conventional, more symmetrical families. The global decline in traditional male jobs could be changing gender roles, promoting more equality between men and women, and also thought about cheap domestic labour. So greater migration, immigration has led to more accessible domestic labour, so outsourcing domestic work to a third party. And last but not least, we have two 10-mark questions on globalisation specifically. As you can see, the questions you've got here outline and explain two ways in which globalisation has led to an increase in family diversity and globalisation affects family structures. These are relatively similar questions. So again, it's looking at how family structures, size, shape has changed, or how we have more variety of family types because of globalisation. As a side note, globalisation can be used pretty consistently in the paper. So you might get questions about how migration has changed family structures, or influences that have changed the role of the family. You can use globalisation in those types of questions there. Hopefully this has been some help for page 125 in your pack. Use the materials to help summarise how globalisation is kind of a common theme within this entire pack. And also, if you have any questions, any concerns, anything you're not sure about, as always, just drop me an email or just get in touch. Okay, thanks for watching.